Hello everyone and welcome back to the Rightworks. Today taking a look at another match on Ascendancy, and man, I am addicted to this map. It is just absolutely beautiful. You see that skybox back there? What beautiful artwork. I really love to see that. Today we've got a match between some decently high level players. We've got some 21s in here, some 19s. We're up in the 20s, so it's very, very good to see. And I'm excited to see more games on this map because I really don't think we've even scratched the surface of the crazy strategies that you can go for on this one. Anyways, why don't we meet our players, shall we? Spawning on the eastern side for our blue team, we have Shootapalooza. We've had this player on the channel before. I absolutely remember that name. Shootapalooza is absolutely fantastic. Reminds me of the wow, this is really niche, but it reminds me of the Disneyland in the Disneyland in Southern California. There's a Toy Story ride where you sit in a cart and you pull a little string and you shoot like darts and rings and like stuff on a screen. I'm explaining this really terribly. But anyway, it sounds like what that ride would be called, Shootapalooza. Have I been talking about Shootapalooza too long? I think so. Anyway, spawning on the western side for our red team leader, A Polygon. A Polygon, also another player that I recognize the name of, and super excited to see some games coming out of them. Going to be our Cortex player. Well, a Cortex player anyway. I'm sure there's others in this match. Be surprised if there weren't. And they're going for a bot lab here on the low ground, which is kind of interesting, actually. I would have expected more vehicle bays on this low ground. It is pretty flat here. Vehicle bays or maybe hovercraft labs could work pretty good too. But anyways, going for that bot lab in the southern side of the map, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Now, I've been hyper-fixating on the northern side of this map because I find it tremendously interesting. There's tons and tons of metal up here, and I mean literally tons. 1.2 thousand metal. That's enough for half a tech transition. Or well, a little under half a tech transition. Anyways, tons and tons of metal up here, and if you get your hands on that, that can be a tremendous boon to you and your team. So I think if you're spawning in the northern side of either team here, you sort of have a duty to go claim it. And so Valorant, no, not that one. I did play Valorant for a little while. That was a pretty fun game. I got pretty good at it, actually. Not like professional good at it, but it was pretty fun. Valantor is doing the right thing, in my opinion. Getting a bunch of units up here on the field and making sure to contest this, and I think a resbot should be the next thing that we pump out here. Yeah, I'm actually surprised we don't have a resbot out by now. I would have made 2 grunts, maybe 1 grunt and a resbot, and then yeah, just make sure we eat from the enemy's side backwards. That way, at the very least, we're taking metal away from them if they do send units up here. Surprisingly, Negative Light is not sending units up there. They are moving to the front line, which is a bit odd. I'm pretty surprised that we're just going to abandon the northern part of the map. Maybe they didn't realize that you could walk up there. That's a playable area. If that's the case, they're in for a nasty, nasty surprise. Anyway, I'm going to keep my eyes down south and check in on the north every once in a while because I think some interesting strategies are going to go down over here. Dorito Dustin does have... tried to just say his name as casually as I could, but it's just a funny one. Dorito Dustin does have the bot lab up. Has a vehicle, or rather a light laser turret, kind of rudely placed right in front of this bot lab here. These bots have to like sidestep it whenever they come out of the lab. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Dustin did send a bunch of pawns back here, but I'm not exactly sure why. Killer Predator. Looking to build some solar panels in the back line, scaring me a little bit. Killer Predator is 16 true skill and 1 chevron, so I'm a little worried they're about to spend, oh, I don't know, a good 4,000 metal on solar panels like we've seen in the past. Always a bit worrying. There's some metal right here that I would love to see eaten up. Turn off that camera mode. Oh, okay, interesting. I also learned another trick. Let me try this really quick. /water 1. Ah, look at that. I can turn the watercolor up and down. Water, what is it normally? Was it like 3? That looks pretty good. What is this commander doing? Commander don't know how to walk. Commander's having a really rough time right now trying to figure out what on earth it's supposed to be doing. aside from that, it is gathering the metal extractors in the water here, which I think is quite nice. Meanwhile, a blitz has broken through here by Winchester Rick, doing an excellent job of getting units out and about. Can't give him the award, I wasn't paying that close attention, but certainly doing an excellent job. The next best thing, the bronze medal, if you will, because, yeah, getting this much damage on your enemy's early economy is super, super important. And yeah, we might even get a constructor, that'd be really nice. We've got a significant APM stall here on the side of the blue team, and yeah, it looks like it's going to cost them the economy for it. Finally, a grunt was redirected in that direction. Just one. Oh, he's got a friend now. Blitzes are pretty tough, at least against these T1 units. It does manage to take down a pawn before it sacrifices its life. San Colonia making sure to build a heavy laser turret wall here, making sure that Shootapalooza is going to have a really rough time pushing in to get these juicy, juicy metal points here. You can see there's 9 metal in total, spread between 3 metal points. So it's not quite a single metal point, it's sort of a hybrid between a capture the area and a capture the metal point. But I don't think you could really have a split scenario where one person or one team has some of these and another team has the others. So I would basically call this the same as a single metal extractor that's highly valuable. Just costs a little bit extra to build. But yeah, that is an extra 9 metal that's now coming into San Colonia's base. Really powerful stuff. Volantor has completely captured the northern ridge here. We do have a constructor bot up to build metal extractors here. I don't know why we aren't using the res bot to eat everything up over here. That seems like the obvious decision to go for. Although Volantor is already overflowing metal. How is that possible? Oh, we are building a construction turret to remedy the build power issues that we are currently facing. And then it looks like we are going into advanced solar panels. I don't think we have enough energy to build 2. I would probably rather see 1 and then 2 advanced solar panels and then another construction turret and then 2 more advanced solar panels and then another construction turret and then another 2 solar panels. That's kind of my 2-to-1 ratio for those anyway. Could have just said that, I suppose. Polygon has a nice little army of aggravators here, pushing back the Mesa Menace. Also tearing down those light laser towers like it's nothing. Those aggravators are pretty good against the Mesas, all things considered. Difficult to land your hits on them when they're kiting properly, but if they're just moving in static lines like this, they can certainly be really devastating. They don't leave behind a wreck either, they just blow it right to Kingdom Come. So yeah, that's an added benefit. Down south, Winchester Rick has captured the metal extractors, which is always lovely. We also have a line of blitzes here to stop any encroaching grunts or pawns. Looks like pawns today. Could be grunts tomorrow, you never know. These pawns are looking to jump on top of... Oh, well, they're just going to turn around, actually. I thought they were going to try and sweep back from behind and get Polygon's commander here. But it looks like they're just going to be content with wiping away the vehicle army of Winchester Rick, which they do a fantastic job of. Dorito Dustin, not afraid to pump out units in mass, which is really, really nice. This could be absolutely game-ending, though. Valentor has built a forward bot lab here, which is really nice to see. Whoa, look at that. We're eating up our T1 solar panels. Valentor, my man. You're winning over my heart here. We're building advanced solar panels. We're using the metal from eating up regular solar panels in order to fund them. We built a forward vehicle lab. We've captured this northern zone. We are finally using the resurrection bot to reclaim all this juicy, juicy metal. Valentor is showing us that they are not afraid to get down and dirty with it. Really, really liking what I'm seeing there up north. Very, very nice play. Completely uncontested, and Negative Light has completely let down their team as far as them about to be flanked from the rear in any minute now, I feel like. Do we have any T2 transitions out already? We do. We have a T2 player here. Fractalex? FR, the 4 is an A. The 7 is a T, the 4 is an A again. Fractal Hex. There we go. Sorry, I was busy reading. I missed this commander going down here. San Colonia's commander does drop dead on the floor here, wipes away all of those buildings that were over here, as well as any units that might have been accompanying that. These Arbiters must have been contributing their long-range missile support and doing a damn good job of it. At this point, Shootapalooza is marching forward to claim these metal extractor points. I would love to see, yep, there we go, eating that metal up as well. Always very, very nice to see. Commander can eat up 77 metal a second, so it can chew through a commander corpse pretty quickly. Yep, don't lose your commander to a bunch of pawns, but we won't. They will be lasered down. And things are starting to look good again. So we have a complete fold on the northern half of the map, but we have a really, really nice hold on the midsection of the map. So what does that equal? Is that a net positive, a net negative? I don't know. Tons and tons of pawns here. We're going to need to see some res bots, otherwise this is just a gift of metal here to Winchester Rick. Winchester Rick, likewise, we're going to need to see some res bots out of, otherwise this is not a gift of metal to Winchester Rick. Rick has queued up a bunch of tidal generators, and whoa, look at that. Tidal power is 24 on this map. That is absolutely nuts. You can build a huge economy off of tidal power when tidal power is that high. Remember, the tidal power is constant, so same as solar panel in that regard. But tidal power only costs, if we go to economy here, 90 metal to build one of these. So for 180, you can get 48 metal, or 48 energy power, 48 steady energy power, which is just barely a little bit more than the T1 solar panels are. Super, super efficient. Very nicely done. Maybe I should clarify. I don't know if that math... I'm redoing that math in my head. Yeah, so it's 150 or 155 metal to do a T1 solar panel for 20 energy. Whereas it's... for 180 metal, you would get nearly double the energy cost. Yeah, so it's way more efficient, right? Okay. I was... I was worried that I had made some sort of dire miscalculation in the last... I don't know, the last month of me bagging on T1 solar panels was suddenly unfolding before my eyes. But no, the math is right. I'm right. Don't worry now. Oh, I missed the pushback here, but yeah, this base has been completely wiped out by the forces that went up north here. Negative Light is suddenly realizing that, in fact, units can stream up this little pathway here and contest the northern part of the map. We did see a geothermal plant being built up here, which is quite nice. I would love to see, since we are a Cortex player, I would love to see a plasma battery go up, the Cerberus. That would be quite nice. But yeah, the thugs have streamed into the back line here. Raid puts it best. North has big problems. Like big. Dank Shaw says bruh. Yeah, that's about how I would feel too. Suddenly, I look back and my northern player isn't playing north, but it's also hard to blame Negative Light. It's probably their first time playing the map, or at the very least their first time playing this position. Maybe they didn't know, and it's hard to say that isn't a team error not to explain that to the player sitting up there. Never hurts to ask though. Dorito Dustin holding off this push of blitzes here. It looks like that pawn army that was out and about somewhere got completely devastated. I see a lot of corpses around here. But that was a lot of pawns. I'm really frankly surprised that those are all gone here. I'm not sure where those could have been lost. These Arbiters are continuing to get insane value. Any of these units that sit still for too long, they go by. Bye-bye. Those missiles are really powerful. Commander goes down here to the orange forces, rather. Bear Juice takes down, looks like Raid Shadow Legends Commander. No, I'm just kidding. Arbiter here, trying its very best, but this is not really an assault unit. It's more of a put it in the very back line, basically as far back as you can type of unit. Our purple player, Negative Light, decides to tap out after their base and their constructors and, well, everything that they have is eliminated from the match. We do have some res bots. Wow, they're actually going to resurrect the bot lab here. That's quite interesting. Guess I would love to see some ticks pumped out too. Looks like a little bit of a DC from another one of the players. I'm not sure exactly who, though. Wasn't Raid. Which player was that tapped down? Well, it might have been one of the players that was up here. Either way, there are a bunch of T1 medium tanks in the back line of Raid, tearing apart those advanced fusion reactors, and those are so expensive to lose. There is a gunslinger out, which is quite nice. Gunslinger has that passive regeneration, so it's actually kind of difficult to kill here. Enough tanks will bring it down, though. I think that definitely could have been microed just a little bit here. We've got Fiends, but this is a lot of T1 medium tanks. I think Raid is in quite a bit of trouble. We've also got a huge contingent of not pawns, hounds. Drastically different unit. I was looking down here. That's a lot of pawns. But yeah, these hounds, I mean, they're really devastating. They're gonna tear apart these pawns like it's nothing. See, those pawns just melt away when those shots start landing. But yeah, this is really the pain right here. Oh, the gunslinger was so close, but it does not come out. So these lab positions are so odd. It's like pointed directly at that other lab here. You see this wall of arbiters trying to fire on these ticks. It's always a dangerous gambit, because if that tick gets underneath the arbiter wall, like right up against it, the arbiters will fire on themselves. They have no moral principles, none at all. They do not care. If they see a tick, they will fire at it, and they will hit that big red button with fury in their eyes. Dink Shaw not giving up quite yet. Does have a constructor out, a T2 constructor no less, building a T1 constructor in the back line. Meanwhile, Valentor has done an excellent job of capturing this entire area. We've got the Resbots running around, resurrecting everything. We're bringing the economy back online, and then we're going to eat up the rest, which is actually a really nice idea. I quite like that. At this point, T2 Fiends are out for Shootapalooza, and it's quite a dangerous army. Dorito Dustin decides to tap in. Surprisingly, the commander was still just on the front line here. Plenty of units were coming out. I guess seeing those T2 units was enough to convince them that things were not going to swing in their favor here. I think someone needs to take, though. Ooh, bunch of these arbiters just friendly fired on themselves. Not sure if you guys can see that. I caught it out of the corner of my eye. They fired on a tick that was running towards them, and then they walked forwards into their own missiles. Yeah, these guys are really prone to shooting themselves in the foot. We do have some Fiends trying to fight this commander. 2 Fiends is actually enough to take down a commander if you put them on either side and you get that flanking damage. You can actually absolutely ravage a commander really easily. These Fiends, I don't know if you realize just how dangerous these Fiends can be. These can absolutely push forward here and completely decimate the northern half of the map. You could probably break through the middle too. Shootapalooza now has to take over for the southern half of the map, which is really unfortunate. What I wouldn't mind seeing is if Shootapalooza held shift and just selected all this and just handed it over to the next closest player, so Killer Predator. I think that would honestly be warranted here. These Fiends are spread out and they're not achieving too much effect. Maybe I overestimated them. I'm a little traumatized. Playing against Fiends does that to a man. It crushes a man, burns away his soul, leaves nothing but the hollow shell of what he once was. Looks like some arbiters tried to fire at ticks again. Yeah, dangerous to keep those in your base. They're just like catapults. Catapults do the same thing. The T3 Cortex unit, the rocket launcher unit. Yeah, it does the same thing. Shoots at ticks regardless of whether they're right next to your advanced fusion reactors or not. Oh, it can be quite a pain. Because the thing is, they'll try and predict where the tick is going to be. So when they launch their missile, they're actually launching it a little bit ahead of where the tick is going to be, which is where they're standing. Nobody expects you to run head first at your problems. Alright, we're down to 3 players. This is officially a 3v8. I would love to see a Cerberus up here if we could. I know you're busy, Valantor. You've genuinely got a lot on your plate here. But I would love to see a Cerberus. That would just be absolutely wonderful. Shootapalooza does call for the resign. Looks like Chief Cerberus does want to play it through though, as well as Killer Predator, who both have decided not to vote, at least not yet. Wet noodle team. That's quite a funny image. Please resign. Oh, we got the T2 units out on the field. Oh, these arbiters are firing. Danger close. It's always scary. Shootaballooza's second commander, I guess you might call it, has gone down in the southern half of the map here. We do have pawns streaming out at a breakneck pace over here. We don't really have a way to improve our economy, though. We can upgrade metal extractors all we want. We can build fusion reactors. It looks like Shootaballooza actually can't spend all the metal that they're incoming here. They need a little more build power, actually. They need a little more energy, actually. I think that's the main stall here. And indeed, the vote does conclude when the blue team finally taps in, caving under the pressure. Yeah, I think that hinged around the northern section of the map being absolutely dominated here. Nobody was contesting that for the blue team, and that meant that the red, our hot pink player Valentor, had all the free reign in the world to sweep through there. Really, really nicely done. Can't wait to see some more games on this map. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. If you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to subscribe down below. Always happy to have you, add you to the Brightworks. You're a lovely little community we got here. Anyways, thanks a ton for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.